Then the news starts, the papers. Come to find out, Deirdre wasn't alone, that she was at a party out in Guilford, Vermont, and she was with her boyfriend. And her boyfriend was drinking. He took the keys to her car and wouldn't give them back to her. And that they can't tell if she was put in the car. Nobody will tell me what happened. That he was peeling out with her car and doing all kinds of stunts with her car. And then when he went down on Sweets Pond Road in Guilford, he hit a bend. And Deirdre was ejected from the roof of the car, smashing her head.
My first memory was kind of swimming to consciousness and realizing that something bad had happened and that this was real. It wasn't a dream. My next immediate thought was, this isn't good. And my third thought was, I can't escape this. The two cars had hit with such force that my knees were pushed into the dashboard, and as the dashboard pushed back, it abraded both knees, split open the fronts, broke both hips and my right femur. The lap belt caught me under the ribs and broke my ribs, ruptured my liver and spleen. The shoulder strap hit me in the face and caused a cut here, nerve damage in my face, and I hit it so hard actually that I jarred the inner ear, and I've now lost the hearing in my left ear. I also had a sprain, a broken wrist on the left side. I broke my foot on the right side, and a bottle or something ricocheted through the car, and there was like a big hole in my belly.
When I came out of coma at Albany Medical Center, I wanted to get out of there. I didn't know what was going on. I figured I did something wrong. But they finally got through to me that I got hit by a car, a drunk driver, that it was nothing I did. My whole right side of my body was paralyzed. I couldn't move my right leg, couldn't move my right arm, was frozen up like this. I was, just going through therapy and everything like that. I could barely talk at the time, and I stayed in Albany Medical Center for 2.5 months.
Changed my job. I was in the middle of a career change when the accident happened, and it took me almost 3 years to get someone to give me a chance. When they look at your resume and realize that you hadn't worked in that long, they say, what were you doing? And you tell them, well, just learning to walk and trying to get myself pulled back together again. They usually don't want to give you much of a chance to do any of the things that you used to do.
I remember waking up in Burlington and trying to come to terms with this abrupt, unacceptable, intolerable change in my life, which is like fabric ripping apart. What you once were is no longer. And coming to terms with the fact that I could put my head to my chin, move my ankles, and lift my right arm. And that was all I was going to be able to do for about 3 months. About 3 months in, I hit rock bottom. I, at that point, had had 10 operations. I had lost 40 pounds. I would throw up every time I turned. I was paralyzed from the knee down. I had blood clots. My skin was breaking open everywhere. I had bed sores. I was itching everywhere. There was no way for me to be comfortable or at ease. And I hit a point where I couldn't even tell day from night. And I would just put my bed up and put my bed down, and that was the extent of the stimulation.
So I struggled
to get my range of motion back, to get out of the wheelchair, and to return to a new normal, because my old normal doesn't exist anymore. My old normal was the dream of riding in the Olympics, which is never going to happen because I lack the strength in my left hip and the flexibility in my right ankle. And yes, I do still ride horses, but I'm not riding them at the level that I did.
Months before we figured out how to wash my hair or brush my teeth. I mean, the change is total and intolerable. I had to learn how to dress myself. I had to relearn how to move my body off the bed. I had to learn how to sit, and then gradually how to stand, how to walk, how to bathe myself, how to transfer from a bed to a chair, from a chair to a wheelchair, from a wheelchair to a shower bench, from a wheelchair to a car. I remember going outside for the first time on July 26th. I'd been indoors for 3.5 months. And the burst of colors in the garden against the blue of the isolation gowns was just an incredible explosion of color, an incredible experience.
Hopefully somebody thinks of our story, our family story, before they choose to get behind the wheel of a car when they're making choices that aren't healthy for themselves or anybody else. Keeping very actively involved in the community is really important, and understanding and talking to people about what happened and not letting it go away and getting buried so we don't have to deal with it is really important.
And please, if you've been drinking, don't get behind the wheel. Call somebody, get a ride, walk, but don't get behind that wheel. Thank you.